Hey, what's up guys, it's Hedrymas here back with another video. Today's video is going to be about pooling, what it is exactly and how you can use it to gain more DPS. I'm mainly going to be using my rogue for examples, but most of this applies to any DPS class. So first of all, what is pooling? Pooling is basically saving energy to deal more damage overall or do more damage during specific windows. Usually pooling refers to energy, but you can also pool things like combo points, soul shards, rage and so on. So I'll show you with an example here. I'll just spend all my energy here, and while it's coming back, even though I could spend all the energy again, instantly I'm not, because I'm gonna pool the energy. So see, I'm using abilities, and now I could use energy, like I can use my mutilate if I want to because I have enough energy, but I choose not to because I'm pooling energy. That's what pooling energy is. In these situations, I didn't really have a reason specifically to pool my energy, but now I'm going to show you some examples for Assassination Rogue on the reasons you could be pooling. You could be in a situation where a high priority ad is about to spawn. So let's say that a mob, let's say I'm here, this is the boss, and a mob is over there. So I can pool my energy to build combo points and ad quickly with Mutilate, but I also save my combo points so that the second that the ad spawns, I can refresh my Rupture on the boss, and then I don't have to swap back to the boss anytime soon. So let's just dot the boss up. Let's just do normal rotation. Let's say the ad spawns in 10 seconds, or let's do 7. Wow, the lag. Okay, that didn't work. But yeah, the ad spawns now. I have all my energy, and I managed to instantly rupture the boss again for the full duration. And now I can actually DPS the ad while I have dots of the boss on the boss. Also, don't forget to like throw knife to refresh your poison on the boss, just so you can actually get the extra energy for it, but that's just a rogue thing, that's not specific to pooling. Now that was an example for pooling for target swapping. You can do this thing with other classes as well, such as saving soul shards, saving focus, and so on and so on. Now for my next example, I'm going to be talking about burst windows. In the case of Rogue, we get this 10% buff from a talent. I'll show you here. Elaborate planning. When we use a finisher, we gain 10% more damage for a few seconds, 4 seconds to be exact. So if you would use all of your energy the instant you get it, you're going to lose out on some damage of the buff you get. So if you would use all of your energy the instant you get it, you're going to lose out on some of the damage from the buff you get. So this is what happens if I use all my energy instantly. Let's just do normal rotation. Let's just use all the energy first. Okay, I use my finisher. I get 4 seconds. 2, 1. I didn't even manage to get a mutilate in. But now if we think about it, we can just pool the energy before we use the finisher so that we can get more value out of the buff. So I'm going to show you again. So we're going to use a finisher here. We're going to pull some energy. We can mutilate twice. Now for the next finisher, we need to pull some energy again so that we can make sure we have the double mutilate in the window. So finisher, mutilate, mutilate. See? So now my mutilate got, both my mutilates got extra damage from the 10% damage during the window. So this is why you could be pulling energy before you use a finisher. Now these kind of changes might seem small, but this is actually what makes a difference between a decent / good DPS and a great DPS. So if you learn these things for different classes, you can actually gain a lot of value for it. Now in every situation it will be different as well. So for example, during heroism we can actually get our next finisher in before the buff even fades, if we have enough haste. And this allows you to do 10% more damage with your finisher if you use it in time. So we would literally be able to, let's wait for some energy, use a finisher, double mutilates. Even without hero we can actually do it. Or actually no, we need to pull more energy. But you saw, like, you can use a finisher, you can double mutilate, and you can use a finisher again within the 4-second window to actually get the 10% damage buff on your finisher. So if you don't have heroism, this might actually not be worth it, so you always need to adapt to the situation. If you would try to do this outside of heroism, you'll most likely lose DPS since you don't generate as much energy as you do during heroism. So for examples, rogues also have this other buff that we get from Envenom. Now if you override this buff with another Envenom buff, you're going to lose time on the buff, which will basically be wasting potential damage. So the goal is actually to keep this buff up as long as possible, so you can use pooling in this situation again to actually gain DPS. So I'm going to show you here. Let's envenom. Actually, okay, let's first put some dots on the boss so we can actually get the energy in a normal situation. Okay, let's get to max energy and then I'll start showing you. Okay, so we're gonna envenom the boss. So we wait, envenom, double mutilate. Now we wait. 3, 2, 1, go. Envenom again, double mutilate. 2, 1, go. Double mutilate within this buff again. And go. Now I'm not sure if we're gonna get the double mutilate in here. Now you saw we kept the envenom buff up a lot longer. Of course I dropped my dots because I'm just showing an example for envenom. So we actually generated less energy than we normally do. But you saw how long we could keep it up. If you have this energy regen from actually dotting the boss, you're gonna be able to keep it up even longer than this. Now I'm gonna dot the boss and I'm gonna show you what happens if we would just instantly envenom the second we get it. So let's get to max energy. Envenom. Lose 2 seconds and now we need to wait for mutilate. See? It just makes you lose DPS because that extra energy that you generate by just waiting until your envenom buff is gone allows you to actually keep it up for longer in the long run. So like I said, this stuff can be applied to a lot of classes, but just with different resources and mechanics. For example, elemental shamans can wait with spanning maelstrom to use it on earthquake if adds are coming, instead of earth shocking the boss. Or shadow priests could delay their shadow form for some time to get more AoE damage on incoming adds. Warlocks can save their soul shards for when their cooldown is back or nearly back so that they can actually burst higher since soul shards work with their CD to do more damage, and so on. Now the final thing you should actually remember from this as well is that if you're wasting resources by pooling, you're doing it wrong in a lot of cases. You don't want to be on max energy as a rogue because if you're waiting for an ad for example, that would just be ridiculous since you would be dealing more damage with that energy. So pooling is all about figuring out where you can save resources or cooldowns without actually wasting them to deal more damage in the end. So if I would be pooling in this situation for some reason, like it would be pointless to actually wait. Like for example, I'm waiting for an ad and I'm just DPSing the boss. So I'm waiting for the ad and the ad comes in like 10 seconds. You don't stop using energy for 10 seconds. Like my energy is capped, I'm actually losing out on a lot of DPS. So yeah, what you have to remember is that even though pooling is a good thing, you need to know how and when to use it, because if you're overcapping resources, then you're actually wasting DPS in most situations. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe learned something. If you have any questions or comments, just put them down below and I'll get back to you. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.